receptionist behind her desk had stopped typing and was watching the byplay. Volner could feel her presence behind him. "Unless you can tell me what you want here," he said, "I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave." The man was still smiling. "Well," he said, "I'm not about to tell you what I want here, and I'm not about to leave either." For a moment, Volner was speechless. He glanced at the receptionist and then turned back to the man. "In that case," he said, "I'll have to call the police." "You call the police and you'll be sorry." "We'll see about that," Volner said. He walked to the receptionist's desk and said, "Mr. Santo, will you get me the police, please?" The man rose from the bench. He was taller than he had seemed while sitting, perhaps 6 feet 2 or 3 inches, with wide shoulders and enormous hands. He moved toward the desk and, still smiling, said, "Mr. Santo, I wouldn't pick up that phone if I was you." Mr. Santo wet her lips and looked at Volner. "Call the police," Volner said. "Mr. Santo, if you so much as put your hand on that telephone, I'll break your arm. I promise you that." Mr. Santo hesitated. She looked again to Volner, who frowned and then said, "Never mind, Mr. Santo," and without saying another word, walked to the entrance door and out into the corridor and toward the elevator. His anger kept building inside him all the way down to the lobby floor. He debated calling the police from a payphone and then decided he would do better to find a patrolman on the beat and bring him back upstairs personally. It was 2 o'clock, and the city streets were thronged with afternoon shoppers. He found a patrolman on the corner of Shepherd and 7th, directing traffic. Volner stepped out into the middle of the intersection and said, "Officer, I'd—" "Hold it a minute, mister," the patrolman said. He blew his whistle and waved at the oncoming automobiles. Then he turned back to Volner and said, "Now, what is it?" "There's a man up in my office. Won't tell us what his business is." "Yeah?" the patrolman said. "Yes, he threatened me and my receptionist, and he won't leave." "Yeah?" The patrolman kept looking at Volner curiously, as though only half believing him. "Yes, I'd like you to come up and help me get him out of there." "You would, huh?" "Yes. And who's going to handle the traffic on this corner?" the patrolman said. "This man is threatening us," Volner said. "Surely that's more important than—" "This is one of the biggest intersections in the city right here, and you want me to leave it. Aren't you supposed to—" "Mister, don't bug me, huh?" the patrolman said, and blew his whistle and raised his hand, and then turned and signaled to the cars on his right. "What's your shield number?" Volner said. "Don't bother reporting me," the patrolman answered. "This is my post, and I'm not supposed to leave it. You want a cop? Go use the telephone." "Thanks," Volner said tightly. "Thanks a lot." "Don't mention it," the patrolman said breezily, and looked up at the traffic light, and then blew his whistle again. Volner walked back to the curb and was about to enter the cigar store on the corner when he spotted a second policeman. Still fuming, he walked to him rapidly and said, "There's a man up in my office who refuses to leave and who is threatening my staff. Now, just what the hell do you propose to do about it?" The patrolman was startled by Volner's outburst. He was a new cop, and a young cop, and he blinked his eyes and then immediately said, "Where's your office, sir? I'll go back there with you." "This way," Volner said, and they began walking toward the building. The patrolman introduced himself as Ronnie Fairchild. He seemed brisk and efficient until they entered the lobby, where he began to have his first qualms. "Is the man armed?" he asked. "I don't think so," Volner said. "Because if he is, maybe I ought to get some help." "I think you can handle it," Volner said. "You think so?" Fairchild said dubiously, but Volner had already led him into the elevator.